Hello, first grade friends and family. Thank you so much for those of you who went to the parade on Friday, and also thank you to those of you who have got on the website and been using the materials I posted. Just as an FYI for your information, at the end of the videos I create, or in the middle, somewhere I'm going to give you either a question or an assignment that you need to do. And I had two people so far only on Friday evening turn in their assignment, and both of them had actually not done the assignment at all. The assignment asks you to listen to a piece of music by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, close your eyes, and then after it's done, write a couple, 2 to 3 sentences or draw a picture about what you heard. That needs to be done to get your points because I don't have anything to grade if I can't actually see you. So, I appreciate those of you who did hopefully watch the video because I spent a lot of time on it making it great for you guys. But I have to have something to show that you participated, and those questions are the way that I show that you participated. And it was a pretty easy thing this week, guys. Some of my big kids had to do much more difficult things. If you have an older sister or brother, ask them what they had to do. But I gave points to those two people who had turned it in because they were the only ones in first grade who did say that they had actually watched the video. But you must do whatever I ask you. And the reason that I'm not posting it in the assignment section is I don't want to post the question and then you not watch the video. I spent a lot of time on these videos, guys, and I don't want you to bypass it just to be able to get your points. I still want you learning like you're here with me. Okay? All right, so make sure that you're doing that. If you need your parents to help you figure out the one from last week, you can still turn it in for me just so you can still get your points because I don't want anyone to have poor grades. All right, so this week we are going to be singing a song called Clementine. This song is about a minor 49er. So, 49er actually is not the football team, but we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so a miner, M-I-N-E-R, not O-R. This is someone who digs and excavates. Excavates is a fancy word kind of for digging with care for fancy materials. Not just fancy materials. I don't know why I said fancy materials. So for natural materials and resources like gold, diamonds, graphite, like that is used in pencils, zinc, which is used for medicine, limestone, granite, coal. You could even, there's quite a few things actually. That all come from the earth that miners would look for. Now, we are going to be talking about gold miners specifically, and not just gold miners, but gold miners from 1849. That's why they were called 49ers. This is actually what the football team was named after. So this gold rush took place from 1848 to 1855. So over a course of 7 years. During this time, gold was discovered in California, and over 300,000 people from all over the world rushed to California to try to strike it rich. It was first discovered by James Marshall at Sutter's Mill near the city of Coloma, which is not too far from San Francisco, which, by the way, was only 1,000 people. He was building a sawmill for John Sutter, so he was a construction worker building a sawmill for John Sutter, and he found these shiny flakes of gold. So when I say flakes, think like the flakes that you would feed a goldfish. We're not talking nuggets, we're talking flakes, and he found these in the river. So he told John Sutter about the discovery because, he didn't know the land, and they decided they were going to split the profit and keep it a secret. But word got out, and prospectors, which were people that were rushing to California to stake claims on areas to mine for gold, started rushing to California to find that gold. Now, before the gold rush, there was only about 14,000 non-Native Americans living in California, but that changed. Around 6,000 people arrived in 1848. The gold was found in January of 1848. And by 1849, 84,000 more people, totaling 90,000 people, had arrived just to hunt for the gold. They came from all over the world. Some were Americans from the East Coast, so like Texas, Tennessee, Florida. Texas isn't really East Coast. Sorry, it's just East. Missouri, Chicago, New York. All these people trying to find the gold rich, but others came from China, Mexico, Europe, and Australia. So there is actually an extremely large Chinese population in San Francisco. They actually have there's actually the San Francisco Chinatown, which is one of the more famous Chinatowns. And that's part of the reason there are so many people of Chinese descent in San Francisco is because of the 1849 gold rush. So many of the first prospectors, the people digging for gold, did make a lot of money. They often made 10 times in a day that what they would working in a normal job. Now back then, you made a couple bucks a week. I know you guys are like, Miss B, I can't even go to McDonald's and get stuff for a couple bucks. But they were making 10 times that. So, imagine, let's just use a nice number. Imagine that you make $100 a week. Now, we're going to multiply that by 10, and all of a sudden you're making $1,000 a week. That is a lot more money. So, these miners would pan for the gold. That means basically they would take dirt or even water. Some of them had a water, and basically you would have this pan that had little holes in it, and it would sift out all the dirt and stuff and would leave the stuff up top, and then they would dig through and see what was rocks and if there was any gold. More complex methods were actually made later, where multiple miners would work together and try to search for gold in larger amounts of gravel. So what is panning, though? Panning is when miners would use separate gold and dirt and gravel would separate gold and dirt. When panning for gold, miners would put water and gravel in a pan, and then shake it back and forth. And because gold was heavy, it would work its way down to the bottom. And after shaking for a while, the gold would be on the bottom, and then the dirt and worthless material will be on the top. Then the miner could extract the gold and set it aside. If you guys would like to actually be able to do that when this whole epidemic is over, in Mesa, the Arizona Museum of Natural History actually has a whole interactive exhibit about the Lost Dutchman gold, where you can actually pan for gold, and they have fool's gold, and it's pretty cool. I did it a couple years ago when Kara was younger. Now, so the only people that unfortunately really got rich though at these during the 49 gold rush though was really just the merchants, the store owners, because all of the thousands of these miners, they needed supplies. They didn't come with it. They needed mining pans, shovels, a pick. They also needed food and living supplies like coffee, bacon, sugar, beans, flour. They also needed bedding, a tent for it was raining, a lamp, and a kettle. And the store and business owners who sold these supplies became wealthier than the miners. They were able to sell items at very high prices, and the miners were willing to pay because they were desperate to get the supplies to get gold. So that is actually, boys and girls, called price gouging. So price gouging is when you sell something for, sell something for much more than it should be sold for. So for instance, right now there are some price gouging going on with things like water and especially toilet paper. So toilet paper at a maximum should be $1 for a roll, because at the Dollar Tree you can get $1 for a roll. There are people that have been trying to sell it for $5 or $6 a roll. Or you may have seen, your parents may have talked about that guy who had 18,000 bottles of Germ-X that he was trying to sell for $8 to $10 a bottle, which is price gouging when the bottle he only bought for $3. He did get in trouble for it, and they basically told him, hey, we're only going to fine you and not put you in prison if you donate all of the Germ-X, which he did. So he lost out on a lot of money, but on the other hand, he was also trying to really hurt people by charging more. So there were these things called boom towns. So when gold was discovered somewhere, everyone would rush there and move in and make a mining camp. And sometimes these camps would rapidly grow into boom towns. They were called boom towns because it was boom, this happened overnight. San Francisco and Columbia in California, those are two examples of boom towns during the gold rush. San Francisco went from about 1,000 people to about 30,000 people in 2 years. Now, where there are boom towns, there are also ghost towns. Now, they are not called ghosts like Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine are going to go there. They are called boom towns ghost towns, because these boom towns, they eventually turned into ghost towns. When the gold ran out somewhere, all the miners would leave, or if no gold was being found, they would leave and go find the next gold strike. So these boom towns, when another place popped up that had gold, a lot of people would leave, and then the whole economy would crumble at that boom town, and it would become a ghost town. The businesses would leave too, and then the town would be empty and abandoned. One example of this is Bodie, California, and it's actually a popular tourist attraction, and you can still see all the buildings and stuff like that. It's a little creepy, but it's cool if you like history stuff like I do. So, due to this influx of people, 300,000 people, California was actually admitted as the 31st state of the United States in 1850 during this gold rush. Sometimes these groups of miners were called, would use rockers or cradles to mine. Like, I'm not joking, like a baby cradle or like a rocking chair. And they could mine a lot more gravel and dirt this way than just went with just a pan. And it's just a thing of like shifting it back and forth kind of thing. They also sometimes have these really elaborate setups too. There has also been gold rushes at other places, including Pikes Peak in Colorado and the Klondike Gold Rush in Alaska. There's quite a few movies about that one. There's one with John Wayne also. Historians estimate that around 12 million ounces of gold, 12 million, was mined during the gold rush. That would be worth about $20 billion using prices from 2012. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 articles for you guys to look at just so you can see some pictures of what some of this looked like. And then I am actually going to give you your assignment right now in the middle of the video because I told you last week that I was going to be mixing it up. So one of our standards that we're supposed to be able to cover in first grade is with appropriate guidance, present a version of a personal or collective music ideas to peers or an informal audience. And we've kind of done this for our peers when we perform for our parents and stuff. I know parents aren't peers, they're family members, but we kind of do that when we had our concert. But your informal audience, I want you guys to do this in your home. I want you to sing a song, a solo, by yourself to your parents or a family member. And I need that family member to record you. Because the more chances you have to learn a song and sing it by yourself, the more independent of a musician you're going to become. I don't care what song you do. You can do Twinkle Twinkle. You can do a song that we did in concert. You can pick whatever song you want. You can do the song we're learning this week. But you need to sing a song by yourself to your parents or a family member and have them record it. And then under the assignment tab, you need to post that video. You need to attach it to your assignment. And the ones that are super awesome are going to get posted on the Paseo Point page for other families to see. If you are a parent that does not want their kids' video on Facebook, please make a note in it that you would prefer for it not to be posted, even if I do enjoy it. And I will keep the happiness to myself. All right, so let's start learning our song. So, Clementine. We're going to start by going over the words like we always do, and we'll work our way through. So, her name was Clementine. Yes, like the orange, Clementine. All right. So, in a cavern, your turn, ready, go. In a cavern. All right, next part. In a canyon. 1, 2, ready, go. In a canyon. Good. Excavating for a mine. Your turn, ready, go. Excavating for a mine. We talked about that word excavating. It means basically to dig with care. Lived a miner, 49er. 1, 2, ready, go. Lived a miner, 49er. Good. And his daughter, Clementine. Good. Ready, and his daughter, Clementine. This is probably the part that you know. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling. 1, ready, go. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling. Oh, my darling, Clementine. 1, ready, go. Oh, my darling, Clementine. You are lost and gone forever. 1, ready, go. You are lost and gone forever. All right. Dreadful sorry, Clementine. Dreadful sorry, Clementine. All right, now we are going to work through it with the songs and the words. If you need to go back over that section, do it so that you can have the words well. Parents, I'm also going to post the lead sheet with the lyrics so that you guys have that too. So, in a cavern, one, ready, go. In a cavern, good. In a canyon, excavating for a mine. One, ready, go. Excavating for a mine. Good. Let's do that whole sentence. One, I'll do it and then you'll do it. One, ready, go. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine. One, two, your turn. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine. Good. Next part, we're going to break it down. We'll do the whole sentence. Lived a miner, 49er. One, ready, go. Lived a miner, 49er. Good. And his daughter, Clementine. One, ready, go. And his daughter, Clementine. All right, let's do that sentence. Lived a miner. I'll do it, and then you'll do it. One, ready, go. Lived a miner, 49er, and his daughter, Clementine. One, two, ready, go. Lived a miner, 49er, and his daughter, Clementine. Good. Now we're going to do it again by sentences. I'm going to do almost all the Oh My Darlings. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. One, two, ready, go. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. Good, next part. You are lost and gone forever. I'm going to break this up. One, ready, go. You are lost and gone forever. Good. Next part. Dreadful sorry, Clementine. One, ready, go. Dreadful sorry, Clementine. Let's do that whole sentence. Ready? I'll do, you do. You are lost and gone forever. Dreadful sorry, Clementine. All right, the entire song. All right, so now we are going to sing through the song. We're going to do the verse type part, which is where you have the minor 49er, and then we are going to do the Oh My Darling part twice. In a cavern, in a canyon, excavating for a mine, lived a miner, 49er, and his darling Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, your assignment is singing a solo to your family and having them record it and then send it to me. If you do not send me that recording, then I unfortunately cannot give you your points for this week. I want to see you guys. I want to see you being music makers. I want to see you singing and dancing. And that's what these assignments are about, is me seeing you and me seeing that you are participating in music even when you're not with me. I can't wait to see you guys. Bye.